Okay, so we're going to darn point shoes. Here's a finished pair, and I'll show you how you do it. This is an old pair, so normally I don't use a bright marker, and normally I don't use a bright pen, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to wear these. So I start by drawing a line kind of where the box meets the shoe, where it ends. Go all the way around. These ones are a little bit worn. Normally they wouldn't be this frayed, but we'll just kind of pretend. Okay, so now you know where to go. I normally use one of these. It's a leather needle, but I was trying it tonight and it's a total pain in the butt, so I'm using this instead, which is also very sharp. You can see it has that kind of spear head, and it's very easy to take the embroidery floss, take a nice long piece. Normally I use something that matches point shoes a little bit better, but I don't have any of that today. Is that pink? No, I don't have any today, so we're using bright pink instead. Okay, so I start by, normally I start kind of on the side, like here-ish or there-ish, instead of right underneath, just so that it doesn't like bulk up under my toe. So I'll start over here. Okay, so this first one, so I start a little bit below, aim it a little bit better. I start a little bit below, and then I kind of aim for getting it on that line. And I take it up, straighten out all this. Ugh. Get rid of my little fly. And then I leave a nice long tail so I can weave it in evenly. And then I go a little bit to the left and then right down below. Now I'm left-handed, so I go to the left, but if you're right-handed, you can just do the right. So I take a little bit and I put it up here, same to the line, but then I make sure that I go over the thread from my first stitch. And what that does is it ties my yarn again and my thread. It makes a nice little lock, kind of like a little stitch. So I'll do another one, nice and slow. And I also try normally to get under the canvas and the satin, because then it'll stay. I'm not doing it for these because I'm just doing it quickly. So you can see it starts to create a stitched look, and I don't know what this stitch is called. If you're watching this and you know, you're probably screaming to yourself, but I don't know what it's called. You can tell me. So I just do that. So I've done a bunch now, almost all the way across the front, and you can see it it creates kind of a cool, like a seam, so it looks really, I think it looks cool, but it makes for a nice ridge. Lame back here just because it's frayed, so it's not really catching. So I'm actually just going to skip that and go right over here, and I'll just pretend that we went all the way across. So you can see the next row. Okay, so I get right back to where I started, And I do one last one. And then, now this one, sometimes I do, like this pair, I did 3 rows. You can see 1, 2, 3. Although I kind of think it went a little too far down, so you don't really have to do the third row. But I do like to do a second one on top of here, or you could skip it all together. I do, after I do the first one, I'll cut the satin off. Sorry, it's hard to keep it in the frame. I cut the satin off so that it's pretty close to the row. Just like that. So you can see it's kind of close to it. It's a little better. And then I'll do, if I want to do another row, I mean, like I said, like this is fine. You can keep it like that if you want to keep doing more rows. Some people do it all the way across. I don't, just because it's a lot of work. But if you want to do a second row, you can take it, you see that it's just cut a little bit above here. So I would just take it, and I would start here at the bottom, and I'd want to catch, and these shoes are very old, so the canvas is very hard. The glue is all, but I would take it, let's see if I can catch the canvas anywhere. Let's see if there's anywhere on here that I can. Well, let's see. Doesn't hurt also to get a thimble. Anyway, you would, like I'll show you on this one. I stitched this into, I'm trying to get it light. I stitched this into the canvas. So I just did the second row, and I had to go just a little bit over where I cut the satin. So it creates a nice kind of tight seal. And I trimmed the satin because to me it's more slippery than the canvas. And it's going to fray anyway, as you can see obviously from, I don't think I wore these for very much, but it's going to fray anyway, so I might as well cut it. So that is it. And you just keep doing, you can keep going tighter, or if you want to do a row below, you would do it like this, where you would just catch it underneath. You just do like that. And you always just catch the loop through. And then when I'm doing the second row, sometimes what I'll do is I'll alternate it, or I'll kind of stagger it. So I can even get it through, I'm not showing you, I can even get it through the last stitch and the thread I just did. So then it really locks it in there. I'll do another one to show you. So I get the needle, and before I pull it all the way tight, I run it underneath that last stitch, and then also it's going through. So that's what it looks like there, and so it stays nice and nice and tight, like how this looks kind of like webbing. You can see this is the side that doesn't get as much dancing, so it stays nice and tight. Everything's all locked into each other, so it's really firm and it doesn't wiggle around, which is the last thing you would want on pointe shoes, because then you will slip. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it helps, and have fun darning your shoes, and happy dancing!